What are the specifics? I'm not going to lie, Outlander. The goblin raids of old, they were nothing compared to what's coming. A darkness overshadows the Shire, one that cannot be repelled by rangers alone. We need all the help we can get, and if buy or sell trusts you, then I'm willing to give you a shot. Good. You're still here. Like I said before, I wish to discuss some tasks with you that need doing. Nothing too difficult, but you might greatly aid our efforts. I have 5 different tasks you can choose from. I noticed our food stores are running low, and the base is in dire need of materials for maintenance. I also received word of a wolf pack about to cross the Shire borders, and that goblins have set up camp in our territory. Finally, I understand that strange folk have been sighted in some of the villages in these areas. What matter would you like to attend to? We are currently attentive of 3 halfling settlements where suspicious big folk have been sighted. Furtherhill, McHale Dolving, and Halfington. Go to each of these locations and discover what you can about the strangers there. Then, report back. If you have trouble locating them, try the innkeeper in each town. It's likely to be all they talk about anyway. We'll discuss your payment in larger detail when you return.
Looking for some building materials? Or perhaps a fresh pie? Care to look at my wares? It will only take a moment of your time. Take a look. There was an half-orc in town about a week ago. He was looking to buy some arrows off a few of the merchants here, but he demanded an unreasonably low price for them. After being denied, word is he headed north into the Brinbale Wood. I guess he's moved on from there. But if you're looking for him, that might be a good place to start. Oh, and remember, I'm not to be held responsible if anything breaks on you.
Do I know you? Keep your voice down. I'm hunting deer, and they're skittish enough without you yelling. What are you talking about? I'm doing just fine. This isn't my first time hunting. Plain sight. Why I was stalking a deer. That's why I was walking about. My stench? Impossible. I just bathed the morning before last. And my arrows... well, perhaps you have something there. But it's hardly my fault. You know those little fellas back in Furtherhill? A bunch of overly suspicious worms, if you ask me. I just stopped by their shops to do some honest trading, and what do? Shun me. Those halflings better learn a thing or two about how to treat us big folks soon. 'Cause in the future, when new leadership is present, we won't tolerate that sort of behavior. You agree? That's good. It's not often I run across someone who shares my views. And I've seen you know a bit about hunting. I'll keep this conversation of ours in mind. Then if you ever find yourself in need of a job, I'll put in a good word for you with my boss. But until then, I need to finish up my work here. See ya.
Pardon me if I don't stop to chat. I'm a very busy woman.
Good to see someone interested who isn't a regular. If you're looking for those of a strange nature, I'm afraid you just missed them. 2 of them, from Bray by their looks. Up to no good, if you ask me. They just stepped outside before you came in. Doubt they've gotten far since. Goodbye.
You don't seem to understand, Mr. Lonesmith. These tomatoes just aren't worth what you've listed. They're worth what my friend here says they are. And what is that anyway, Barry? Judging by the ripeness, I'd say they couldn't be worth more than 2 gold each.
2 of each? I couldn't.
Oh, but you will, Mr. Lonesmith. What'd you think you were selling? A batch of perfect tomatoes? These are far from it.
Alright, it's a deal. Just take what you need and be gone.
Don't be in such a hurry to see us off. You should expect many similar transactions in the future. Do I know ya? Why would I care if you did? It was just an honest business transaction. The little fella agreed to the terms, didn't he? It's not as if we forced anything out of him. Performed flawlessly. What do you mean? Who are you? So you know the master then? New recruit, I'd bet. Well, rookie, I'm afraid you arrived a tad bit too late. We've already finished up our assignment here, and we shan't be needing any more help. But, wait. Hold on just a second. How do I know you who you say you are? If you truly are a new recruit, then you'd know where our base of operations is, right? Go ahead. Enlighten us. I'm sorry, we don't handle the recruitment of this operation. That's reserved for select members. In fact, we're not really supposed to talk about that sort of thing outside the base. Come on, Barry. We've said too much already.
You look like the type that would head off in one of those adventures. Ugh, nasty things in my opinion. You can bet by the hair on your toes I have. Right here in this inn of mine. Don't suppose you've overheard that big folk in the corner, have you? He's been in here all week, drinking the good stuff and not paying for it. Keeps yammering on about nonsense, too. Different times are coming. New leadership. Fair distribution of goods. That typical doomsday stuff. I'd ask him to leave, but I dare not confront a fella like him. Goodbye.
Yeah? Huh? No, you can't be one of them. Not here. Not now. Ah, well then what'd you do this time? Mop up with the floor with it or give it to some other poor sap? Suppose it matters little now. Just get me another. Wait a minute. Say, that is strange. What did I order anyway? What? Have you got anything in that hollow head of yours? I didn't order that. Wait. Yes, I did. What's it about? One of them conspiring little midgets put you up to this, didn't they? Nosy little rascals. The lot of them. Well, if you gotta know, I work for a man. Okay, I worked for him. Dark and shrouded was he. I never quite saw his face or much anything else. He wanted me to deliver a shipment of supplies he'd brought from one of the locals. Normally I don't do business here in the Shire, but the pay on this delivery was more than considerable. He said it was just some barley and wheat, but from the weight I would've guessed it was something like stone or lumber. Maybe weapons. Doesn't pay to be asking what you're transporting though. Not that I would've dared to anyway. Seemed like he'd rather keep his business to his own. That's not to say I wasn't half tempted to take a peek inside one of those crates. I didn't, of course, but I couldn't help feeling a mite bit curious. All the more so when my carriage was ransacked by thieves on the road to Tuckburg. Pitch black it was. Didn't see a thing besides the cloak of one of them heading off the road with swift feet. But when I stopped to check the load, I discovered I'd been robbed. Can't say. When I finally built up the courage to inform him he was nowhere to be found. Instead, there was another man. An associate of his, as he explained. Anyway, so the man was very straight to the point. Said I needed to compensate their loss. Pay him back for everything that was stolen. I tried to explain that I didn't have that kind of coin, but then he threatened to kill me. From there, I didn't know what to do. So I made up a story about heading for Doland. But instead I just came here to drink until I think of something. That's my story. Now if you excuse me, I think I hear my owl calling.
Where was I? Ah, yes. But as I chased him, he evaded my capture and ran across the Brarywine Bridge.
You didn't follow?
One does not simply walk out of the Shire. I thought you knew that.
I see you've returned. What did you discover? This is no coincidence, then. Thank you for this information, Outlander. Here is your reward. Is there something you need? What would you like to do next? Good. I would have hated to spare a ranger for this one. We've heard several reports of a large wolf pack that entered in from the south a few days ago. Packs like these haven't been seen in the Shire for years, and the halflings are viewing it as a bad omen. They need to be driven back out of our land before they develop a taste for something new, like those living in the surrounding villages. What do you think? Can you handle it, or am I overestimating your ability? Good. Then this shouldn't be a problem for you. Just keep in mind, wolves here in Middle Nirn are different from those you may have experienced elsewhere. Their hide is thick, and their teeth keen. If you wish to return with all your limbs attached, you will heed this warning. You know that southerner you caught intimidating farmers by Far End last week? He's been spotted again. Over by the marshes this time.
Impossible. He's dead now. It must be someone else.
Evidently not. Word has it he's threatening to kill any of the locals not accepting his offers.
That sounds like him. I'm going out to finish that job as soon as I can.
How'd it go? Were you successful? Here's your payment. I believe you'll find it more than adequate for the task you performed. What would you like to do next? I'm going to hand you over to Tinruth for this one. She'll be needing help collecting some of our more basic needs. It's tedious work, but necessary. Speak to her to receive your orders in broader detail.
Yeah? Thorman asked you to help with a food supply run? Finally! It's about time I washed my hands of these trivial tasks. I'm glad he found a replacement. You'd better get well acquainted with duties like these. You'd be carrying them out a lot, that's for sure. Whining? You know what? You try collecting and preparing meals for the next 7 months. Then we'll see if you're still Miss Happy to help. Huh. Well, you're not one of us. And although Thorman's never allowed any non-ranger into the base before, I can't imagine you'd be getting anything important. But these are just my suspicions. At any rate, we should focus on the task Thorman sent you over for. Our food supply is running low again, and contrary to some folks' favorite legends, we can't survive without it. Since you're new here, I'll make it simple. You collect the field berries and wood deer venison. Should be easy enough as they're both located in the ravine-filled forest. I'll handle the rest. Sound fair? I'm in charge here. I'll decide what's fair. You'll just have to trust my leadership. We should start immediately. If you think the others are a little grumpy now, just wait till their bellies are empty. I'll meet you back here when you're done. Thirsk, I heard Thorman's having you prepare for another mission.
There's trouble out west. What concern is it of yours?
I was hoping that maybe you'd request to take me along.
Thorman would never go for that, and you know it.
He might if you asked him. He listens to you, and respects your opinion.
He respects my opinion because I respect his. If he doesn't believe you're ready for the field, then neither do I.
Yeah?
Good. This should last us a short while at least. Thorman told me to give you this. Go ahead and speak with him again next chance you get.
Is there something you need? What would you like to do next? You'll need to speak with Fordun then. He's in charge of upkeeping and maintaining the base. You'll find him downstairs.
Did you say something? Straight to the point, aren't you? Good, that's how I prefer my help. Idle chatter is best left for those with the time to afford it. I'm not quite sure how much exploring you've done here, but if you've looked around the hideout recently at all, you've probably noticed a few worn out or damaged sections, especially in the stonework or wood. We need materials to fix these areas. That's where you come in. You need to purchase 15 teak planks in Furtherhill and 20 stone blocks from Siri. Don't worry about transporting these materials, we've had many transactions with these halflings before. Just tell them to drop it off 50 meters west of Bargend by the big oak tree. They'll understand. Then, so long as the new master of Bargend complains less than his predecessor, we'll pick it up from there and I'll begin the repairs. All you need to do is place the orders. You needn't worry about your gold. I've got the sufficient amount for the materials we require right here. Don't be a fool. These are honest business halflings, not some common burglars. Besides, I told you we've done business with them before. We can trust them. Thorman expects me to do a week's worth of work by the time you return. I may be an experienced ranger, but that's pushing it, even for my kind of efficiency. Here's the coin you need. You'll get more than this as a reward if you do as instructed. Straight to the point, aren't you? Good, that's how I prefer my help. Idle chatter is best left for those with the time to afford it. I'm not quite sure how much exploring you've done here, but if you've looked around the hideout recently at all, you've probably noticed a few worn out or damaged sections, especially in the stonework or wood. We need materials to fix these areas. That's where you come in. You need to purchase 15 teak planks in Furtherhill and 20 stone blocks from Siri. Don't worry about transporting these materials, we've had many transactions with these halflings before. Just tell them to drop it off 50 meters west of Bargend by the big oak tree. They'll understand. Then, so long as the new master of Bargend complains less than his predecessor, we'll pick it up from there and I'll begin the repairs. All you need to do is place the orders. You needn't worry about your gold. I've got the sufficient amount for the materials we require right here. Thorman expects me to do a week's worth of work by the time you return. I may be an experienced ranger, but that's pushing it, even for my kind of efficiency. Here's the coin you need. 100 for lumber, 150 for stone. Don't spend it on anything else. You'll get more than this as a reward if you do as instructed.
Care to look at my wares? It will only take a mo. Take a look. Nothing like a satisfied patron.
Just dandy to see you in good health today.
Ooh, it's been a while since one of you stopped by. Say, you're not the usual chap. Whatever happened to him? That's good to hear. Is he still as outright boring as ever? You don't have to answer that. I think I already know. But you're here to purchase stone, right? Always a pleasure doing business for your kind. I'll get the stone to that usual spot of ours. It's a good thing old Mad Taggins ain't still living over there. He always used to throw a fit whenever I took my wagons across his grass. Anyway, take care now.
Hello.
Come on over. I'm sure I've got... Come on over. I'm sure I've got just about everything you need. Good morning.
Of course. How much do you need? I'm sorry, but 100 gold just isn't enough to purchase the type of wood you want. Maybe at one time it was, but with these strange happenings in the Shire lately, many folks aren't buying lumber anymore. I had to raise my prices so I wasn't forced into firing my workers. You're about 65 short of the amount of teak you want. There's the birch. You fellas don't usually buy that. Its primary use is furniture. However, it would fit your price range. Thanks for understanding. I'll get the lumber to the spot requested.
If there's something you need, I'm probably not the one to talk to, but I can point you in the right direction. Indeed, I just brought them back to the base. They're precisely what we needed. You take orders well. Here's your payment.
Be brief. That should be enough for now. I'll have one of the others pick up the last assignment. You've been of much help. I wonder if you feel ready for more serious work. Outlander, you are beginning to impress me. I could not ask for a better answer. I think you make a fine asset for our small band of protectors. Very well. Take some time to get yourself properly rested, and return to me when you're ready for more work.